Hello all, welcome back to Thoughtfulness. Hello Hema.
Hello?
Yeah. Today we are going to see a famous parable. This is a parable of some blind men and an elephant. In a town, there were a group of blind men living together. Almost there are 6 in their number. Throughout their life, they have never seen any object. They know only the ideas about the objects through explanations, and through their touch, they understand the structure of objects. One fine morning, a mahout with an elephant arrived in the street where they are residing. Lot of people outside are screaming, lots of kids are shouting in an excitement after seeing the elephant. Hearing the sound outside their house, these 6 men tried to come out the house and understand or see or come to know what is happening outside. They all stepped out from the home. Just next to their home, just opposite their house, the mahout standed with the elephant surrounding with the people. So as everyone is shouting in excitement, these people are, since they are blind, they don't know what's exactly happening. So they stopped one of the persons going there. They asked them what's happening, why this kind of sound and this kind of excitement among the people. That person said, an elephant is here. A mahout brought an elephant here. The elephant is an entertainment and it is the reason for the excitement among the people. Because no one in the town has ever witnessed elephant in person. So as the excitement grows, these 6 blind men also got excited to see or excited to feel or excited to understand what an elephant is and how it looks. Since they have never seen any object or anything from their birth, they are very much excited to see or feel how an elephant will look like. So they all went near to the mahout. They requested the mahout, we want to touch and feel the elephant so that we will get an idea what an elephant is, how it will look. All these 6 men surrounded the elephant and tried to understand the structure of an elephant by their touch. So the one person just standed just near to the trunk of the elephant, another person near the tusk, another one is stand behind the elephant, and another one is at the sides. So like that, the persons, all the 6 people spread across and spread around the elephant and try to understand what the structure of elephant is. Right. After recognizing, they took some while to understand the structure of the elephant. After a while, the mahout went away with the elephant and everything got settled down. They also returned back to their room. Sitting next to each other, they started discussing about the structure of the elephant. The first person said, an elephant looks like a snake. It is long, thick, but it is like a snake, because that person touched the trunk part of the elephant and he just, according to that person, the trunk is the elephant. So whatever the qualities of the trunk that is residing in his mind, that is projecting an image of the elephant in his mind. So according to him, a trunk is a long tubular structure which is almost similar to a snake. So for him, an elephant is a long tubular structure. The next person, he touched and he tried to understand the elephant by touching its tusk. For him, the elephant is a strong substance which is sharp at the end and cylindrical in structure. So for that person, elephant is a strong, spherical or cylindrical and sharp at the edge. For this person, how the tusk feels, the same perception, the same image is produced in his mind as an elephant. The another person who stands by the sides of the elephant, the person touched the elephant's sides. For him, the sides just gave an impression of a wall. So that person said elephant is nothing but a wall. It is a long square or long rectangular area with no breakages or with no bumps or anything. It's a complete shape, a complete rectangular shape. For him, that is the structure of the elephant. And other persons who stand behind the elephant by the side of the tail, for that person, the elephant is a rope. Because the tail looks like a rope, so the person understood the picture of the elephant as a rope. And the other person who just feel the elephant's legs, found that all the elephant's legs are the trunks of the trees. For that person, an elephant is nothing but a trunk of the tree. So, since every person understood or every person tried to understand the image by seeing their particular observation, their particular feeling over the touch on elephant's body. So 6 of them developed 6 different perceptions on elephant's image. This is a famous parable given with reference, explained as a reference to a famous Rig Vedic sutra. Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuta Vatanti. This is a famous Rig Vedic sutra which said the truth is only one, but the people seeing the truth expresses on their own perspective. Okay, it is much more into philosophical note. We don't want to discuss it further, but the story is just to give you the idea of perceptions. So an object's structure or qualities or characteristics differs from perspective to perspective. Everyone has their own perspective, their own vision, their own angle of view. Based on that, the characteristics and qualities of a product, an item, an element, whatever it is, it differs. So this is the gist of this parable. Right. The process in which the 6 men tried to understand the elephant is called scanning. This process is called scanning. Of course, the word is very much familiar for you. Scanning is normally frequently used in many places. In hospitals, doctors used to scan the body of the patient to identify the abnormalities or the dysfunction or the characteristics or changes happening in the internal parts of the body. So the scan gives a clear understanding of what's happening inside the human body. This is an example of scanning. Apart from that, in airports, we used to have our luggages scanned in the security check. So they scan for the prohibited items or anything which is not allowed to be carried during the flight travel. So it is a kind of probing mechanism in which some of the things or some of the desired or undesired things which might or which should be identified. This is a process of scanning. Similarly, in the software industry, in the information technology, or in context with our information security perspective, where the scanning is coming into picture. Hardware, software, network services, operating systems, and all the things we have footprinted earlier in the previous video, in the previous session, are eligible for scanning. So earlier what we did, we footprinted and found what are all the things and what are all the characteristics of that particular target. Now here in scanning, we are going one step deeper and seeing all the normal and abnormal qualities of the target we identified, we footprinted earlier. What are all the basic characteristics or what are all the basic abnormal or normal behaviors we used to list down while doing scanning? First thing is, while doing a scan, we can easily identify, we can easily understand whether a target or a host is live or not. This is one important thing we can identify by doing scanning. Next thing is, we can easily find what are all the open or closed ports available in the target machine. In the target machine, what are all the opened or closed ports available? This is also we can find using the scanning mechanisms. Next to ports, we can find what are all the services running on the target. What are all the servers? What are all the services? What are all the supporting processes? So all these things can be listed out using the scanning mechanism. Over and above, after listing all these details, we can also find is there any security devices or firewalls being set up in the target. So this will give us a clear idea about the target. What are all the things open? What are all the things available? Is there any security mechanisms in place, or everything is open to public?
Can you show us practical examples?
Yes, but it needs lot more technical details and lot of things to do. I think we can plan a separate video with this based on the audience response. Since you have asked this, I just want to show a single example which is very much familiar for you as a practical session. This video will also give you an idea how our practical sessions will look like. Let us get started into a practical session showing a very simple example of scanning. Let us get into our machine. So this is my desktop through which I am going to give you explanations or practical examples wherever needed. So here now we are going to see a simple example of scanning. So how to scan a target? Let us see. I am going to open the command prompt here. If you are using Windows, you can go and open your command prompt using the command cmd in run. Since I am using Linux, I am using my shortcut key Ctrl-Alt-T to bring my command prompt. So my command prompt is ready. So this is my command prompt. I need to maximize it for better readability. Yeah, right. So the first command I am going to show you now for this video session is for a scanning. This is a passive scanning. Light footprinting, we have two types of scanning, active scanning as well as passive scanning. For passive scanning, we have a mechanism to scan our target which gives a very minimal information for us. What is the command? I am sure many of us are already aware of the command, but still I am explaining you. The command which we are giving here is ping. So the command we are now going to see is ping. I am typing the command as ping google.com. Right. So what does this command will do? This command will check whether our target is live or not. If it is live, what is the distance or what is the time taken to reach the target? That is the thing this command will reveal. So according to us, google.com is the target I pinged here. What has happened here is there are 3 packets are transmitted here. Here you can see there are 3 packets transmitted. Among the 3 packets transmitted, 3 were received and 0% packet loss. So this is the details or this is the statistics and this is the output we got from the ping command. So by using the ping command, we can identify whether our target is available or not. Internally, this ping command uses ICMP as a protocol. So getting deeper into ICMP is not the scope of this session, but just for an idea, this is neither a TCP protocol nor a UDP protocol. It is IP based protocol. So ICMP performs a ping request to the target and identifies whether it is available or not. If in our target, if the ICMP port is disabled or the ICMP service is disabled, then we may not get our packets back. This will convey us that the host is not reachable, but even though the host is running, we will get the reply as host not reachable because the ICMP might be disabled there. So not many systems, but some of the systems, due to the security reasons, they may disable ICMP where our ping command may be failed. There are other alternatives for ping command, but that is not the scope of this video. This video is for just to give you a simple example of a practical session or a simple example of a simple command which you already know in your life. But this command is used for passive scanning. Similar to this, we have lot more commands and we have lot of information residing inside the ping data given from this command. So the bytes and the time, lot more things. There are lot of things have been revealed from the output of ping command. But we will discuss these things in much more detail based on audience response for these videos. If the audience or if you people need much more details or much more depth or much more insight towards such things, I am ready to do separate videos. Let us see in future how it goes. At present, these are all the things we need to know about scanning. Usually, this is going to be the next step after footprinting, followed by the attackers to identify more details about the target. That's all about today's video. You just list down your comments or doubts or suggestions, whatever you have in the comment section. I will reply to them. Let us meet in the next video. Thank you.
Goodbye.